and gentlemen, members of the jury, good afternoon. My name is Alexandra Esteve, and we are going to discuss about the topic, is it helpful to give money to beggars in the street? We actually consider helpful to give money to beggars in streets. But before going further, let's clarify one thing. Ladies and gentlemen, money is and will always be helpful. Men as well as women attempt to have money. Some do it the right way and others the wrong way. But the purpose is still the same: earning enough money to have a good living. So the act of giving money to someone is helpful, especially when the one in need. Now, what can we say about beggars? They are penniless and sometimes homeless people soliciting money in streets. They may be found in all kinds of public places, such as transport roads, for example. In Senegal, there are countless of all gender and all ages. And this is quite understandable when you look closer to the country and its citizens' poverty rate. In fact, according to the annual report of the UNDP in 2013, 50.6% of the population live in a situation of extreme poverty. This explains why there are so many people in streets, and actually, if giving them money is going to help. The first of the list of beggars are handicapped people. Some of them are victims of polio or leprosy, and others are blind people. Then we have widows or divorced women and single mothers who are often rejected by the society in villages and forced to come in big cities. The government does not have any effective law or finance policy to protect them. And at last we have children. Most of them are beggars, and I'm sure everybody knows about them. For sure. Supposing to have a religious and a cultural orientation, the Taliban phenomenon has become a huge problem in this country. In fact, 98% of them beg in streets by imposition of their masters under the threat of mistreatment. So, ladies and gentlemen, all these people are in need. They don't have the basics for living. They need food, yes, but they also need clothing. They need help, and they need to take care of the place they have for home. And all these require money. The government is powerless, so it's up to us. It's our duty toward the community to give them help. Thank you for listening. I'll not let the floor to my team.
Why so it should be helpful to give money to beggars? If you decide to whip the tears of this mother, this widow with her children to fill, will that be helpful? Yes or no? Yes! You decide to make this little boy Taliban smile by preventing him to be punished and then giving him what to eat. Will that be helpful? Yes! And finally, if you decide to help by giving this trivial cause to this handicapped person, blind or lame, will that be helpful? Yes! So, ladies and gentlemen, many of those persons are just victims of terrible circumstances in which one are trying to get them. Certainly, most of us are faced and then simulate the given situation. But is that a reason for us to generalize and to refuse charity to people? To those people on the street? Of course no. Helping is an act of kindness, pity, love that every human should promote around him. To whoever you're doing it, wherever you are doing it, and whoever you are doing it. It gets us.
a spiritual satisfaction for someone who is given pity, and then a material satisfaction from the one who is receiving it. Also, a Hausa proverb says, if your neighbor's beard is burning down, put water in yours. So, will we accept to be this neighbor who will do nothing to help his brother, his neighbor? What a wise person will do in this situation? Ask you? But give the water to his neighbor so he could stop the fire. Brothers and sisters, those people have their beard burning down, jobless, homeless, disgusted, poorly dressed, starving. So we prefer to give them this money, to give them this water, as our sisters and brothers they are, and our neighbor that they are. Finally, we will help like this. We don't encourage begging. And we really think that in front of a given situation, it's a must for us to take a decision, the right decision. We don't stop begging by refusing to give money to beggars. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone. Dear audience, dear members of the jury, dear opponents. It is an honor to be standing in front of you talking about that essential topic, a nowadays situation that you face every day, a situation that you face in everyday life, a question that you have ask yourself or will have to ask yourself, especially if you live in Africa, especially in our society Senegal, with a 95% majority of Muslim inhabitants. It makes that matter a very sensitive one that you have to take without false perception, false judgment, and without jumping to easy and naive and insensitive conclusion. Let me go back to the question. Is it helpful to give money to the beggars in the streets? The key word here is helpful. Let me rephrase that question in order to understand better the question. Are you helping them by giving them money? Do you really think that? I have this situation coming to my head. You're facing a hungry man. Would you rather give him fish or providing him with the tools and the skills to catch that fish? Two situations, two consequences. The next day, this person wakes up. If you have given him the tools and the skills to catch this fish, he won't need you to get out of the situation. He won't need you to get out of the situation. We're not saying no to generosity. We're not saying it's not a careless, unsensitive, selfish answer. We're saying yes to action. Benjamin Franklin once said, I am for doing good to the poor people, but I differ in the means and the ways of achieving it. I am for doing good to the people, but I differ in the means and the ways of achieving it. The best way of achieving this goal is not by making them comfortable in their poverty. It's by driving them and leading them out of this situation. What's generous? Let's think about it. What's generous, what's selfish? You're walking in the street, you pass by a beggar. He's asked you for a coin. Do you think that by giving him this coin, do you really think that by giving him this coin, you're facing or avoiding the situation? Do you think that you're helping him, are trying to understand his concern, his troubles, trying to understand his reality? Are you trying to be part of the solution? I don't think so. What's generous, what's selfish? Think about this question. Saying yes here is an easy way of handling the situation. It's a shortcut. It's only by understanding the roots of the problem that you are able to set and apply an accurate and sustainable solution.
Yes.
This brings the question of the use of the money. What's effective in terms of result? The result here is taking them out of the streets. We say yes to giving money, but to the right structures, to the right infrastructure, the right institution. These institutions give them back the control of their life, give them back the taste of life, the belief in a better future. I'm thinking about this story. You all know the Abbé Pierre? Yes. Of course, the most well-known figure of homeless situation in France, who once said, he was facing a beggar. He said, the question I asked this beggar became a general one. You who thought that you were superfluous, you who thought that you didn't have any place in society, not only are you not superfluous, but you are needed. So those who were beggars become givers. That's life. It's this idea of perpetuous movement, of nothing being set in stone. That's what we want to transmit to the future generations. The last question I want to give you before my colleague ends up with it is, who are you giving the money to? Who are you giving the money to? Are you financing structured and organized laziness, easy access to money? Or are you for understanding of the problem, an active, participative solution? Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, dear members of the jury, brothers, sisters, I greet you all in your first and last name with great delight. Now, coming back to the topic, we should acknowledge that this is a very important topic, a very important and complex one, with wide implications and deep roots. What my teammate has just said is very important. He says that emphasis needs to be laid on this word, useful, which means helpful. What does it mean? I often think that what is helpful is that which takes you from a negative position and puts you in a positive one, isn't it? It's helpful that which finds you in a good situation, but pushes you to a better situation. That can be called helpful. Now, I'm going to take the question again in this way. Can the fact of giving money to beggars in the street change their life in a positive way? No. Obviously, the answer is no, with a capital N. Because change is an outcome of what is helpful. It is helpful, everything that brings change, but a positive change. Now just think, you are walking in the street, you see a beggar, and you give him 1,000, or even 10,000, or even 1 million. What do you think will happen? He will go back home, spend the money until it is over, and he comes back waiting for somebody else to come and give him another 1 million. Did you help him? Did you change his life? No, not at all. What you did is encouraging him into begging again. We do not say no to help. We don't reject help. But we say that everything that is called or dignified by being qualified as being helpful should, and I say should for a third time, bring pragmatic and practical outcomes. Then there is change in life. Otherwise, there's no help. This is why we should not forget about the saying, according to which begging certainly have been the best option if God had endowed talents to a selected few. Fortunately, He gave us all our compatible gifts, respectively. So being a chronic beggar is an offense. What we have to do is try to pull those beggars into the hardship they endure and make them become citizens that are fulfilling their duties and enjoying their rights, citizens that are worth of the name, which means citizens who can stand, be useful to the society and gain something from the society. This is helpful. Can we achieve this by giving money? When you give money to a beggar, it means, brother, I know your situation is hard, but just keep on. No problem, because God is going to come. When? Now, I will tell you one thing in 20 seconds. I don't think my presence here is out of any coincidence. When I was 6 years old, 7 years old, and 8 years old, I used to beg because my father died very early. My mother, not able to provide the needs. What did she do? She took me to Adara. There was hardship, so I went away, I fled away, and I was asking to anybody. One day a man saw me, asking me what my name was. I told him, he put his house, gave me clothes, washed me, and a person.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, dear opponents, and good afternoon, dear members of the jury. My name is Samuel Nidjergu. I'm very happy this afternoon to be here discussing about this very interesting topic. Our opponents gave some arguments, interesting arguments, but none of them was enough reliable. They want to teach to beggars to fish, how to fish. Do you really think all of them are able to work in order to earn their living. Some of them are handicapped persons. Some of them are children. You want to make these children work? What kind of people are you? And then, please, not that here we are speaking about the fact that it's helpful to give them money. And you focused on the word helpful. And this is very important. We are not saying that we can stop begging by giving them money. But is it helpful to give them money? When you meet someone in the street, I know our governments, our institutions are working on it. They are trying to help these people to go out of this situation. And even the European Union are working in Africa through some projects they call cash forward. But they do it since many years and nothing changed until today. I would like you to look to some people and tell me who between them could be able to work just as you are proposing to do. Who between them? No one. And it's very important that the thing you just said, you said that you were begging. I'm speaking especially to you. How many of beggars got the chance you got? How many of them? There are many beggars in the streets. We think our governments must do something, but we meet them every day. They are our brothers, our sisters. We must do something for them. We can give them something by giving them some money. You could be the one that brought the only meal of the day. Isn't that helpful? Isn't that helpful? Giving money, for sure, giving money will not stop begging. But it's helpful. It's always helpful to give money to someone. Even if he's a beggar or not, it's helpful to give money to people. And I don't want us to call them beggars. I want to call them needies. They didn't ask to become beggars. And you could also be at a place. Think about it. Thank you.
Hello everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, dear of the jury. I am Kumba Sahor, student represented Dakar. So I am really happy. I agree with your saying because your saying is really important. You are talking about diversity. We are not saying now. Microphone.
Technical problem. Please turn it on. It's off.
Yeah. We're not saying now to generosity. We are not saying a categoric now to generosity. We want job conclusions regardless of consequences. But we are saying now to those parents who letting their children in the street begging. We're saying now to giving opportunities to bandits and pickpockets. We are saying now to instead of ameliorating this condition, the living condition of these people, we prefer to let them beg in the street. We are saying now to that fact. I say once again that we are not saying now to generosity because it is a natural fact that men are trying to help one another. This is natural. So why are we saying now to this? Why? I will tell you that this children you're talking about needs education. And Nelson Mandela said that education is the most powerful weapon that can be used to change the world. So what are we waiting for? We want them to let it to be in the streets. We want them to stay in the streets begging. You think this is a solution? This is not a solution. Imagine you were in their shoes. Imagine they were your brothers. Imagine they were your sisters. Imagine they were your parents. In the cold season, begging in the streets. You think this is good for them? No. Not at all. This is not good. So we are not saying now once again to generosity. We want them to help them, but help them to be in a better situation. My mind goes to a history. I was in a bus one day discussing with a blind man, and another blind man came, and he took 100 CFA on his pocket and gave it to the other one, and I was really moved. What is this situation? What it means? That was great. So we quite need this kind of people. These people who are trying every day to get out their situation to get in a better one. So I will also tell you, because you talked about poverty, I will tell you that Mahatma Gandhi said that poverty is not an accident like slavery and apartheid, but it is man-made and can be removed with actions. By actions, he did not mean to let those people in the street. He meant to help these people to get out of this situation, because this is not a good situation at all. You want them to stay in the street? We want to help them. To give them money, which will be helpful, is very important. So we can't totally talk about this word, helpful. We want them, this money to be helpful for them. So what is your problem? Because I don't know what you're talking about. So we're not selfish, because we're not saying now to generosity. We're not saying now to men trying to help one another. Help is really important, but you have to know how to help. Who are you giving the money? And I will ask you a question. Who are the beggars now? Who should beg and who should not? Because we're seeing people fully enjoying their physical abilities begging in the streets. Every God-given day we face in this kind of situation. You think this is normal? Not at all. It is not. So I will just ask you to try to think of the situation, because it is a critical situation, an everyday issue something that we face in every day. Thank you.